welcome to the Sugar Scoop. I'm Shelby Bower, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful, delicate, edible crown out of smart lace. Now, if you haven't used smart lace before, it's an edible lace product that I love. It's super easy to use. I have an awesome video on how to do that in the top right corner. If you are using a different edible lace product, totally fine. You just might have to do a little bit more experimenting. You have my permission. I love cake experiments. And let's get started. I'm gonna be making two different types of crowns for you guys today. So this one, I'm gonna be using yellow smart lace. If you like cake experimentation as much as I do, then like this video and subscribe to my channel where I upload new videos every week. Smart lace is available from my online store, thesugarscoop.com. And I have all the different colors available on there, and it ships super fast. I do have these lace mats for sale on my website as well. They don't ship nearly as quickly as a smart lace does. So this is a really beautiful crown. It's the one that you saw in the picture that I just showed you guys. It has kind of a drip effect, and when you turn that upside down, it makes for beautiful, delicate crown points. But you can make a crown out of most any edible lace, which is really awesome because it looks so beautiful and delicate. This is straight out of the container, which is what's so great about smart lace. You don't have to do any other kind of prep. And that's my oven hitting the required temperature. I'm doing this yellow because I'm actually going to dust it with gold. I'm just taking off all the excess. I'm gonna go over it again with my bench scraper and just make sure all that excess is off. So this looks really nice and neat. All right, so now I am ready to put my smart lace in the oven. I'm gonna do this for 15 minutes and then take it out and let it cool down completely. And then I will show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so this is what our lace looks like coming out of the oven. So our lace has cooled down, and now I'm just taking it out of the mold. Just being extra careful not to tear it. And you can see that our lace is really flexible. These little things you gotta be really careful with because you don't want them coming off. So once you get your lace out of the mold, it's gonna look like this. And I cut mine down a little bit because I want my crown to be a little bit smaller. But it's very flexible, and it's not good enough to stand up for a crown, right? So what you're gonna do is let it lay flat and dry like this. And what I like to do is let it sit out and dry for a few hours and then check on it and see if it's stiff enough to stand up, and just keep checking on it until it's ready. So I recommend doing this process, you know, at least a day before your cake is due. You can also lay it flat, put it on parchment paper, put it into the oven, and bake it for a little bit longer until it starts to dry out. What you risk with that is over baking it and it becoming crusty, and that doesn't happen, and then it becomes brittle and breaks, and that doesn't happen as easily if you just lay it out on the counter. So either way is fine. If you're in a rush, definitely experiment with putting it in the oven, but you don't have to. It's safer to just leave it on the counter. Now when it's flexible, this is a really good time to color it. So I have a little bit of gold highlight here, and I'm just gonna cover the whole thing. I already have a lace prepared that's been dried the perfect amount of time. And it's been sitting nice and flat. And you can see how nicely it stands up on its own. And I just hit this one. This was the white Smart Lace, and I just hit it with a little bit of pearl shine. So it's shiny and pretty and white. But you could, you know, add a little pink to this like I did for the pink ice crown that my adorable little cousin requested. So now I'm gonna take a little bit of edible glue, and all I'm gonna do is hit the very edge of the crown. And you can cut your crown so that it is perfectly shaped, like has a really good ending point, if that makes sense, so that you don't see the seam, as it's not as obvious. And I like to put this seam kind of on the side so you don't see it in pictures, but you want to line up the bottom part perfectly and then just press it together. And then you have an adorable crown. So it should naturally bend into a really nice circle. If yours isn't doing that, then it hasn't been drying long enough. So to speed up the process, I stuck my gold lace in the oven at 175 for 3 minutes, and it came out pretty perfect. So I was experimenting a little bit to see if I could get that oven temperature just right, because I had a problem with drying them out a little bit too much in the oven. So I went with a really short amount of time, and that seems to have turned out a really nice crown. Now this one is definitely smaller than the last one that I made, because I want to fit it on top of a really tiny top tier. So I'm going to take that edible glue, and I'm just going to put it on the back of this one on one side. Just a real thin line of glue, and then I'm gonna stand it up and glue those two pieces together. Be careful of those tips, because I really don't want to knock any of those off. So I want, I think, this to be the front.
It's yummy.
You see your pink ice crown?
Wow, look at that cake.
You know, that's all handmade.
Wow.
This is kind of like a decoration.
Like the E we talked about with the flowers.
So how do you touch it?
You can touch it. Check
Look
out
at
your
your crown,
crown.
Eleanor.
Huh?
Do you like your crown?
It doesn't really
It's an ice crown, pink ice
say
crown.
anything about her.
Yeah. Aww.
No.
You're so cute.
It's really cute, hello.
You want to put your candles on?
Yeah.
Okay.